Today, let us learn about four absolutes of quality devised by Phillips B Crosby, one of the globally renowned quality guru. The knowledge of this concept is not only useful in easy implementation of quality management and quality improvement, but also very useful for project management related global exams and quality related interview questions, also quality related global exam questions. Hi, this is Jagdish Kumar doing this important presentation. As we discussed, Phillips Crosby, who is a world-renowned quality guru, developed this concept of four absolutes of quality. He also is known to author a very famous book called as Quality is Free. He brought out a very popular methodology for quality management and quality improvement, which we are going to discuss now. And this has been his great contribution also, namely four absolutes of quality. Now let us first understand what are those four absolutes of quality which immensely help in quality management as well as quality improvement, even in software industries, service industries, manufacturing industries, of course, and in an individual's business or personal life. The first absolute of quality is, he says, definition of quality is conformance to requirements. What he meant by this is, first capture the requirements of the business, requirements of the customers, requirements of the stakeholders, then establish them, create drawings, standard operating procedures and so on to ensure that you meet those requirements 100% without any compromise. So let us remember his first absolute as quality is conformance to requirements, fulfilling the requirements. In the name of conformance also, we should not do overdoing, that is called as gold plating. So meet the requirement, not underdoing, not overdoing. The second absolute he stated was prevention. Prevention of defects results in quality. It is not manufacture, make some defects, inspect, filter, rework, and then make the items good. This is a bad procedure according to him. He says you need to prevent, eliminate the possibility of any defect. The third absolute he told was zero defect should be the aim of all performance standards wherever we are, be it in a hospital or a school, a service organization or a manufacturing organization. Zero defect should be the aim. What do we mean by zero defect? Do not create a defect at all. This complements his second attribute also, because reworked item will never be as good as the original item. A group of electronic industry personnel did an analysis on how a resoldering on a PCB can impact its life, its performance, its quality. They found that a small rework in the form of resoldering they did at one place created thermal stress at 7 to 14 places around it. Now you can imagine a defect repair would lead to permanent headache to the customer, where one stress joint may fail after 4 years, another may 5, 6, 7, and service call becomes a continuous headache for the customer. Now, the fourth and the last absolute is awareness of the monetary loss, how much of money is lost, awareness of the loss incurred due to non-conformance, because we know finally we are in business to earn money legitimately. If we are losing the money, then what is the point? That is the place, or that is the aspect that we need to prevent by going for better quality. So awareness of the loss incurred due to non-conformance, he says, is very good in terms of money value, so that people are sensitized more on the importance of a zero defect and prevention of defect, meanwhile ensuring that conformance to requirements are guaranteed for the products or services developed by the organization. Now, having understood the four absolutes and their definitions, let us try to know them in detail. The first definition we underwent was the definition of quality is non-failure or conformance to requirements. Here, what needs to be done if you look at how to ensure conformance to requirement 100%? The steps that can be followed are: first, set requirements in clear terms. Have interaction with the customers if it is a specially made item for a particular customer. Have interaction with the market, capture the requirements, know the safety requirements. All these safety requirements and product or service requirements can be captured and brought out in engineering documents. Now, having set the requirement, the second step is that ensure that requirements are fully understood by the people. If the requirements are stated in simple words, straightforward language, the workmen will understand and they ensure that it fulfills the requirement. Training also may be a good aspect here to make sure that the employees clearly understand the requirements, and once they understand, they'll be in a better position to implement the requirements, to see that those requirements are built in the product or the service they make. So third point is very clear: meet the requirements 100% and always. Fourth point, do not tolerate deviations. When you meet the requirements 100%, obviously there will not be any deviation. By any chance, if the deviation happens, what impact it can happen in future at the end user place, including the safety aspect, we do not know. So that's why fourth point, do not tolerate deviations from specifications which can cause serious harm at the point of use at customer's place. Now, how to do these in a summary? We can say, first, establish requirements, provide required resources to create that requirements. It's not only the requirements that have to be captured, enough resources have to be provided by the management to see that workmen are enabled to create that requirement 100% and deliver. To help workmen to meet the requirements, you may have to intervene in the form of providing them the right knowledge, training, right skill, again part of training, and right attitude. Attitude decides the quality of a person. If the person develops that attitude to do well, attitude to excel, definitely he will create those products which conform to customers' requirement 100%. So the golden word is the last statement here: do right first time. Do not go for rework. Reworked item is not as good as the original. The second absolute out of the four is the system of quality is prevention. What prevention? As we see in the first point, key to quality is prevention of defects, not inspection. Why? Because as you see in the second point, inspection can only segregate good and bad. Fixing the bad ones we found in inspection is a non-value-adding activity or a wasteful activity. Definitely it costs money to the organization and thereby the financial loss apart from the delay of delivery for the customer. The third point, some defects might reach customer. Let us remember very well, from my 35 years of experience, I know inspection process is also not perfect. If you defect is there could be a probability that even inspection may not recognize that, and a bad product or a defective part may reach the customer. This error in inspection, which is inevitable, is called as alpha error. Last point here, the secret of prevention is process approach. Always let us remember, defect repair is just a correction. What improvement you do in the process, so that even in successive lots after lots, the defect does not repeat at all, is called as process approach. And the action, permanent action we took, is called as corrective action. So as we see in the last line here, eliminate the root cause of a defect, root cause of error itself. Then we will have the permanent benefit to see that the quality is achieved through prevention of defects, not through inspection or a rework. Now the third absolute of quality is the performance standard is zero defects. It's a golden word told by B Crosby. First point, do right first time is a golden word. Reworked item is never as good as the original, as we discussed earlier. Second point, do not compromise in the name of quality using a terminology called as acceptable quality limit or AQL. Please avoid this AQL approach is what he is going to request here. What is an AQL approach? Generally, many customers have this approach wherein they say, suppose I say my AQL is a 2%, then it means I can tolerate 2% defect in 100%. And 98% acceptable in a lot of say 100 numbers. 98 numbers are good, 2 are bad, means I can accept the entire lot, even when I'm doing a sampling inspection. This concept, he says, you should avoid. We should only look for zero defect. The benefit of zero defect is enhanced assurance among the customers about quality of your product. Once your products speak for the quality, the customer's acceptance, customer's loyalty, customers revisit to purchase your items will enhance enormously, thereby saving enormous money spent in marketing efforts. Last point for this particular zero defect, cause of defect should be anything, but here major causes as found from experience are, cause of defects could be lack of knowledge among the personnel who are manufacturing or who are providing the service, or lack of focus. It is related to the attitude, like inadvertent mistakes they make due to carelessness or human errors that happen by nature, which could be plugged by providing good SOP, work instruction, or jigs and fixtures. Training, creating that attitude to excel, skill development, all these efforts will help in ensuring that the organization and its personnel achieve zero defects. Now comes the last absolute. Please be sensitized on the price of non-conformance is the last statement he says. Any defect repair is a waste for the organization, leading to financial losses. You may imagine this loss may be marginal. No, as you see in the second sentence here, before the people were sensitized on the financial losses due to non-conformance of the item, people were comfortable losing money up to 15% of the turnover. The moment the price of non-conformance concept was brought by B Crosby, they realized that their wasted money due to defects amounted to 15% of the turnover. Imagine the current position when our profit margin itself is 15%. If poor quality it's over 15%, then what is the point in being in the business? So the companies work based on this fourth absolute. And now leading companies have created a benchmark, a reference figure of money loss, which is less than 2% of turnover compared to 15% of the turnover, which happened to be earlier. Two terminologies he advocated that people should remember. One is POC, price of non-conformance. Price of conformance. It is the money spent to ensure that the product meets the requirement. Means to do the item right. Here, the money spent on quality assurance to prevent feature defects and so on. Money spent on training. All these come under price of conformance. Now the major alarming terminology which Phillips Crosby wanted us to focus on is PONC, price of non-conformance. It is the extra money spent to make a faulty part, a defective part right. It is extra money spent to make wrong things right. This is a wasted money. Like cost of quality, 15%, which is an avoidable money because the cost of quality is the cost due to poor quality. And internal failure cost, external failure cost, warranty cost. Ideally, warranty cost should be zero because we are spending money to set things right within warranty period so that the customer is happy, but we cannot charge it to customer. Repair cost, scrap cost is an enormous price of non-conformance if we are not focusing on. If any quality practitioner is looking at the scrap money, he will definitely be able to show enormous saving for the company. Now, having understood these four absolutes of quality, let us try to recap a bit. The first absolute says that quality is all about conformance to requirements, meeting the requirements 100% and always. The second absolute says the essence of quality is in prevention of defects. Do not make defect and then do the rework. There will be enormous wasted money, and where rework item is not as good as the original. Complementing that is the third absolute, which is as we discussed, reworked item is not as good as the originally manufactured item. So zero defect complements the prevention, which is the absolute number 2. Now the last absolute says be sensitized and prevent price of non-conformance. What is price of non-conformance? The money wasted because things are not good now, they have been rejected in inspection and we do the rework to fix them, which amounted to 15% of the turnover and people were not aware earlier. The moment fourth absolute was advocated by Phillips Crosby and leading companies started analyzing, they found almost entire profit being eroded into defect repair and price of non-conformance. With this knowledge, they brought it down to less than 2% of turnover. The cost of quality, which is the avoidable expenditure due to poor quality, was brought below 2%, a great takeaway for many organizations. Maybe almost all the organizations owe this big financial gain to Phillips Crosby. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed so far. I plan to release further value adding sessions moving forward. Already I have released 28 useful videos. Please go through them. They are available in the playlist. I thank you for all the support you have extended so far.